Good morning. Welcome to the channel. I'm William B. Strong. You can call me Will. Waking up this morning, getting ready to have my morning briefing. And there's a lot of troubling things going on in the world today, of course, especially in Afghanistan. Now, after some briefings yesterday, it looks like the Taliban and Joe Biden are at a stalemate, and that stalemate is a red line, as they say, drawn in the sand for 31 August. Now, 31 August is the date that President Biden has set that all U.S. forces and all Americans and American citizens should be out of the country. As of yesterday, in an interview with a Taliban official spokesperson, he said that there will be no extension. There would be no extension, that they expect the United States to leave the country by 31 August. If not, the Taliban will see that as a violation of their sovereignty by an occupying force. Thus, we've got about, we got about 7 days to get out all the evacuees, as well as over 6,000 U.S. soldiers with their equipment and everything that goes with it on the last plane out. Most people think that's impossible. I think that's impossible too. I think that Joe Biden is in a real box here, and we're about to learn, hopefully, some more information of what's going on. So stay tuned and join me here as we get our morning brief.
Time is ticking away.
He has to make a decision today. You know, Peter Doocy was at the White House, and he asked Jen Psaki a very fair, very legitimate question about the people. Every time we talk to them, they do say they are stranded over there. They're scared. They're holed up. They're worried about even walking outside. And he asked her about all these Americans that are stranded in Afghanistan. Listen.
She didn't like it.
Does the president have a sense that most of the criticism is not of leaving Afghanistan, it's the way that he has ordered it to happen by pulling the troops before getting these Americans who are now stranded? Does he have a sense of that?
First of all, I think it's irresponsible to say Americans are stranded. They are not. We are committed to bringing Americans who want to come home. We are in touch with them via phone, via text, via email, via any way that we can possibly reach Americans to get them home if they want to return home.
There are no Americans stranded is the White House's official position on what's happening in Afghanistan.
I'm just calling you out for saying that we are stranding Americans in Afghanistan.
A year and a half ago, she is in desperate need of being rescued because she says she's stranded. Listen.
We're stranded at home. We can't get to the airport. When we try to get to the airport, we either get beaten up or we're afraid for our lives. For 4 days, 4 days, we didn't hear anything from anywhere. And then they're saying to go to the airport, but we're not being given clear guidance. They're saying one thing, and then the next thing they come and say something else. So you really exactly don't know what to do. There's a lot of miscommunication going on. You know, your emails are getting ignored, or, I mean, imagine being stranded in a situation like this and not receiving anything for 4 days from the U.S. Embassy or the State Department. I am afraid for my life, that I don't know how things are going to go. But I really need our president to really consider this serious. We are in danger. We are in danger, Mr. President. Please help us.
Well, that's a pretty powerful beginning for today's daily briefing. There's no doubt, even the allies in our own military are now putting pressure on President Biden. You've got to make a decision on this pullout date. You know, it's like trying to plan your family vacation and you keep putting off the date of when we're actually going to depart. I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense because you can't just pack all this stuff up in 24 hours and leave. I mean, that's crazy. So President Biden, I believe in the next 24 hours, is going to have to make his decision based on estimates of where we are in this evacuation. I believe at this point, it's going to be impossible to get everybody out that we need to get out. And there's no one else that believes that this deadline can hold. Now, the question is the Taliban's threat on 31 August, is it relevant and can they enforce it? Well, they certainly can enforce it. If they wanted to start laying mortar rounds onto the airport, they could do that. The other question is, does this give more time to ISIS-K, as they now call it, ISIS-K, or Al-Qaeda to potentially set up some kind of incident at the airport? But the decision needs to be made. It needs to be made now. It needs to be made very carefully. But President Biden, you've got to make your decision. Let's go back to the briefing. All right, let's switch gears for a minute. We're going to move from Afghanistan to Governor Cuomo. Governor Cuomo left office at midnight yesterday. He's no longer the governor of New York, one of the most powerful figures in the country. Thank God. This sleazeball that's been in office for all these years, finally, everything caught up with him. But of course, on the way out, given his authority and power, he decides to give pardons and clemency to a variety of convicted felons on the way out. One was the father of I think it's the San Francisco DA, who is very controversial. So he gives clemency to the father, who was convicted, I believe, of second-degree murder as a member of the Weather Underground back in the 80s. And there was some kind of a armored car robbery. So he'd been lobbied by this DA out in California, in San Francisco, to give clemency to his father, to give him a pardon. And of course, Cuomo does that. You know, these guys, these politicians make me sick. You know, they wield power, and that's what they have. They can do what they want, and nobody can question that. But thank God, if nothing else, this sleazeball is gone now. And I don't care if he's Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. And I want you to know one thing. I flip through all the morning briefings, okay, and the daily briefings. I follow everything. And so don't think I'm stuck on one briefing channel over the other. I question all their information, and I'm only going to report what I think of the facts and give you my opinions on those facts. So I don't want you haters out there to think that, oh, this guy's just some right-wing conservative. That's not true. Okay, I have voted on both sides of the aisles, and I will continue to do so, and I'll speak out on the issues as I see them. So let's continue with the morning briefing here. Let's remember, we are the most powerful country with the most powerful military in the world today. We should not allow another country, and in this case, in Afghanistan, a terrorist ragtag army to dictate when and where we will do things. That is a huge mistake. that just signals weakness. We are not in a position to be treated that way. I don't care even if this is during an evacuation process. Whoever's in the White House, Republican or Democrat, it'll never be an independent because nobody wants a third party in this country. Wake up. Start setting the rules of the road. You tell them, we'll leave when we're ready to leave and not a day sooner. And if you need to put more troops on the ground, that's what you do. If you need to bring a havoc, then that's what you do. If you need to target their leadership now from above, that's what you do. You limit the destruction, but you move forward with the plans you set. Who gave all the power to the Taliban? So after 20 years of going after the people that caused 9/11, which we're about to celebrate, we have now turned the keys over to them. And they're now kicking us out of the country we went into 20 years ago to get them. It makes absolutely no sense, and we should not allow ourselves to be in such a position. You guys have a great day out there, and I'll see you soon here, back again for my state of affairs and our daily brief. Take care and be safe.